Hi conscious Aries, welcome to my channel on Oracle and Spirituality. Here is your reading. Aries, you are the last one of the series this time. I'm sorry, I just went with the flow and somehow I started with Pisces instead of you. Normally you're always the first one. You're the first sign of the zodiac, so everyone starts with you. I normally always starts with you too, and then I go to Taurus, and this time somehow I started with Pisces, and then I felt the need to go to Aquarius and then Capricorn and so on. And here you are now, the last one of the series, but we're getting there. So I try to follow my personal flow. Look, I can be very controlling at times, and therefore I try to practice going with the flow and be more flexible with the energies. And yeah, so sorry. I'm very sorry. All right, so for those who don't know me, my name is Gail. I am a life guide and a spiritual teacher, and I help meaning seekers navigate a more conscious life toward greater happiness. If you want to stay tuned for the evolution of your energies, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell button for the notifications. Also, check out the description below because there is everything you need to know about this reading, and if you don't read it, you may not understand anything I'm saying here and in my readings in general. And last thing, make sure this reading resonates with you. So take your power back, become your own authority, rekindle your intuition, check out within your inner guidance. If this reading resonates, then it's yours, absolutely 100% yours. But if it doesn't resonate, then it's for someone else. All right, here are your cards. So we've got the Devil, the Strength card, the Table, the Undertaking card, the Negotiation card, and the Support card. By the way, I'm using the French deck, the Belline Oracle, as you probably know, and the Ancient Egyptian Tarot. So those two cards are from the Egyptian Tarot. That's the two personified energies of your reading. This is you. And this is another aspect of you that can also manifest as an external person or some external circumstances. This is your shadow energy. So you are coming across as the Devil this time. So you are not the Devil, you are just embodying this archetype for this specific situation at this specific time. And many people at the moment, as I did the whole tour, the zodiac, many people are embodying this card as well, this archetype. So you're not the only one. So what does it mean to me, Aries? It means that you are demonstrating and displaying some negative behaviors, and you are very conscious of it because that's your conscious energy. It's not hidden. People can see it. You can see it. You know it, and you're not trying to specifically hide it. You know, some toxic behaviors or habits, you know, or addictive habits or patterns, recurring patterns that you can't free yourself of. And I'm pretty sure it is, in this particular reading, in this particular situation, in this specific time, it's related to your shadow energy, the Strength card. So I'm pretty sure it is about self-discipline. I think you can't quite manage to be disciplined and to master yourself and to control yourself, at least your addictive patterns, or some behaviors driven or based in wound, because it's always based in wound anyway. So we all have wounds. So you can't quite control yourself. You can't tame the beast inside of you, or your passions, your obsessions. Yeah. You may not feel the strength for it. You may not feel that you're strong enough to deal with it, or to come to an end with it, to terminate those habits, to get rid of it, or you're feeling stuck in them. So self-discipline, self-mastery, you don't feel confident about some aspects of yourself. It's not about it's not that you are not confident about yourself. This is not what I'm sensing here. It's rather that you're not not trusting yourself on some areas where you've got some addictions or some patterns. So you don't trust that, because you know that it's a pattern, it's a habit, and because you can't get out of it, then you don't trust yourself on those areas. It's kind of like your weak point, your sweet spot, like the weak spot. And it's probably related to some projects that you are trying to plan, or to think, to implement. Because we've got the undertaking card. But at the moment, you are in a conversation, you are having dinners and lunches and coffee and conversation, discussions. So I know there is the confinement, so for many people on the planet, so you may be confined at home and not be able to go out, but those meetings or gatherings, they may happen online. You may have your coffee at home, on a webinar or a Zoom, or on FaceTime or Messenger, and having this conversation, those meetings, business meetings, or it can be about fun, partying and stuff like that, but because of the undertaking, it can still be a personal project. Doesn't have to be a business project, it can be a personal project. But I would say it's not quite, I don't think it's quite about partying. And if you are, having drinks, even online. I can have my cup of tea or coffee, or or my mocktail or my cocktail or whatever, and you can have the same, and we can have a friendly, fun party together with music and so confinement doesn't block anything about those energies. You can totally have fun and do all those things at a distance. So take it as it flies for you, but so it may be some sort of partying or fun gathering, but if it is, it will be related to some projects, some personal projects, and even if the projects are not talked about straight away, it may be talked about later, but gathering with those people is the same people you will then have collaboration with. But what I really, so it can be that, but what I really sense, and that's the theme I'm gonna go for, because I cannot keep giving many options. I have to choose one path, one story because otherwise it's getting too messy. So for me, personally, what I sense here for you, Aries, is rather business meetings, or if it's personal gatherings, it is about project. And at the moment, you are talking, you are having conversations, you are negotiating, you are collaborating, you are talking and sharing, and it's probably even quite congenial. It can be business and be congenial too. Business doesn't have to be so serious, and you can build projects and businesses with your best friends, or with your lover, your wife, your husband, even your child or your parent. So it can totally be friendly. That's what I mean. This is, to me, quite friendly, this card. Because we have so many other cards that could, not so many, not that so many, but other cards that could describe something more serious. And with this card, I sense the people you're dealing with, you're friend with them, or there is a friendly atmosphere, something cool with them, like you're getting along well. It's nice. You're having a good time. Though you are going to have projects with them. You're going to start planning, thinking about an idea. It's not the first time you've had this idea. I mean, it's not the first spark. It has done some process prior to this. Right now, you are at a point where this project is kind of well thought. You kind of know what you want to do and how you want to do it, but now you have to talk more seriously about it. Like, seriously, earlier I said it's not so serious, okay, but I think you understand what I mean. It can be friendly, but you're gonna talk about this project seriously, which means you really want to do it, and you are doing it. I mean, it's not just an idea up there that has no foundations, or no. There is definitely some reality attached to it. It's concrete, it can be applied, and you are going to reflect on how you can actually apply it, like truly, really apply it, make it happen in the real world, in real life. And so that's what's going on here. That's the stage you are at. So at first it's totally congenial, totally friendly. Then you talk about it, you start to even put the first steps, the first stones. It starts to be kind of concrete. You do the first thing you can do about it, like the concrete things. Maybe creating a Facebook page for it, or you know what I mean? Like something real, yeah. But remember, you still have something regarding self-discipline going on, and about the confidence that you can have the for instance, the consistency. Maybe you doubt you have the consistency for it, or this type of doubt, self-doubt about yourself, about your discipline around this, and your mastery, personal mastery. Are you going to post on your Facebook page regularly, like on a regular basis, so that you have this consistency? Or are you going to be kind of flaky and telling your audience you're going to post every Monday something, and then you fear that, you may not be able to do it, that you will do it the first week, even the first month, and then see? Especially you are an Aries, so you are very fast, so you can start with a lot of fire your projects, but then then the fire may weaken, and then you may be interested in something else, or not have the passion anymore for it. You just want to start with a bang and without reflecting so much. But then do you have the self-discipline for it? And so now we're going to talk about your shadow energy. So your shadow energy, as I said, is the Strength card. Because it's your shadow energy, it is an aspect of you you won't identify with, you will not recognize as yourself, you will not see yourself as this lioness. So you won't see yourself as someone strong, someone who has self-discipline and self-mastery. And I just talked about that actually. So now I'm just summarizing. I'm just focusing on that aspect specifically. So I'm just going to repeat a couple of things that I already said. But yeah, you don't see yourself as disciplined. You don't see yourself as confident, as strong on some specific aspect, as I said. Not necessarily your whole life. In other areas of your life, you may feel you're totally confident. But yeah, you may not feel here that you can tame the lion. And there's a snake here as well. And here it's a massive big one. So it's telling me that, yeah, you're not sure that you have this strength and this capacity, this willpower. That your ego has some wounds, and so So you won't identify to this card. You will see it as external to you. You will see it as other people outside of you displaying this self-discipline and self-mastery and all that, and the consistency and the strength. You will see that in external situations, on YouTube, on other social media, in books, on TV or circumstances, or you will see that out there. You will see the strengths out there in other people. But you're not like that. Other people are like that, circumstances are like that, but you don't have that. But that's far from the truth, because it can't be further from the truth, because this is you as well. If it shows up in your shadow energy, it means that you have it too. I mean, we have all the archetypes anyway, and we will display some archetypes more than others, and it depends on the time, the period of time. Sometimes we will use some archetypes more than others. Sometimes archetypes will come to help us, so we will embody them, and then they will leave when we don't need them anymore. So our personality is very, and behavior is very changing, even though we think we are very constant in our personality and identity, but it's not really what's happening. So we have all the archetypes. But in this particular situation, with this project, with those conversations, with those discussions that you're having, you see your wounds, you see your lack of consistency and lack of strength, and you are not perceiving yourself as this strong archetype. You think you lack that. And this reading is here to tell you, look closer. You do, Aries, have this inside of you. You do have it. You need to see it, to recognize it, to recognize this aspect. Where in your life, where in the situation, where in your personality you can find that you display this energy. Find it. It does exist. It is in you. It is highlighted here for you to see that you do have it. So your job is to find it in your personality, in your behavior, in various situations of your life, and especially in this particular situation. Find it, and when you find it, really acknowledge it. And I would say here you are kind of being, you are kind of being admirative of people who are displaying this energy. So maybe the people you are having those conversations, they are displaying this energy, and you see yourself as this, and you see them as that, so you see them and you're like, oh, I wish I were like them, but you are. So own it. Once you see it inside of you, own it. That's where I want you to go. Own it. And for others of you, I don't think it's the majority, but maybe for some of you, you may actually don't like people who are displaying this, because you believe you lack this capacity, you like those traits. And so whenever you see it outside of yourself, in external circumstances or in other people, then you hate them for it. Because, oh, how come they can have that and I can't? So it's kind of like envy or jealousy, or, rather envy, because jealousy, it's a little bit different than envy. Envy is like you want, or it can be jealousy actually, if you think that they have taken you this ability. But probably it's more like envy, because when it's envy, you want it, but you feel you can't have it. While jealousy, it's like they have taken it from you. So I think it's rather envy. But so because of this envy, you hate them. It's a big word. It may just be that it annoys you to see that in them. And then you may start to reproach them to be like that. You may start to see this aspect in a negative way. You may start to see them as being repressed, that they don't have freedom because they enclose themselves into rigid habits, that they give themselves too much walls. They restrict themselves. That's how you may perceive them, because that's how this could manifest in a negative way, because I talked about the positive aspects, but it may manifest negatively as well. So, like someone who is kind of despotic toward themselves, toward their behavior, and not allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And so you see them like that, like, look, you're not human. You don't have weaknesses. You're not even human. You're not even feeling your emotions, and you are restricting yourself. You're not even free. You're just in cage, your own cage, with all the rules and regulations that you put on yourself for the sake of self-mastery. You don't allow yourself to eat whatever you want. You're just always controlling everything. So where is happiness in there? Where is pleasure in that? You see? So you may be a bit upset because you know that, you can't manage to eat well. So you will then say, yeah, I eat what I want, and I prefer this. I prefer to eat what I want than, forcing myself to be like a despot toward myself. But so if you are seeing them as negative, or the circumstances as restrictive, that they force you to have some restrictive discipline, and if this is how you perceive this energy, your environment, and those people you are interacting with, then once you find within you where you've got these strengths, where these strengths lies in you, in your behavior for real, then you have to find in how it is good. And I already talked about how it is good, actually. I talked about self-discipline and taming the obsessions and the addictions and everything. So I talked already about how it is good. Consistency in how it is good. Once you figure out in how it is good, you won't be perceiving it as bad, as restrictive and all that. So once you find it good, then you can love it. Because when it's good, of course you can love something that's good. And so you can love yourself better. because you have this inside of you and it's good. So you love yourself. You love yourself more fully. So that's shadow work. I've just guided you through your shadow work for this reading. So that's the dynamic going on here. So you with this energy, this person, so you are interacting, having discussions and conversations and collaboration and things about some projects that you are going to start to implement, and you feel this lack of strength. You see them as strong and self-disciplined in a good way or in a bad way. Then you do your shadow work, but okay. And so how it's gonna evolve. So at first, as I said, it's very congenial. It's very nice. It's very friendly, right? But because of the wound that I was talking about and this dynamic reason why I said you have to do your shadow work. But if you don't do your shadow work, or if you haven't done your shadow work yet, what's going to happen is that this dynamic here is going to go from congenial to a little bit heated and a little bit argumentative, and the debate will be a little bit on the defensive. You'll be defensive. It will be attacking a little bit, each other, disagreements. Because of course, if you do not believe you can post something on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever, whatever step you said you would do every Monday, and this person is saying you have to do it every Monday if you want to be successful, and you're like, and you say no, I don't want to do it. I want to be free. I want to, and then you start to argue, both, like, because you don't see the same thing the same way. But what I sense is that in this story, you are the one who kind of need to do your shadow work, basically, to embrace this energy. Doesn't mean that you have to become this energy more predominantly, but I think you need to embrace it, to identify a little bit more to it, and to just see the benefit of it, and just take what is helpful for you, basically, Aries. I really think it's important, because they can contribute greatly to you, to your project, to your projects. And even if this energy, it's not someone, it doesn't have to be someone external. You can have this discussion, this conversation with two aspects of yourself. This aspect of yourself and this aspect of yourself. Both, as I said, is inside of you. So both are anyway aspects of yourself. What I said as well is that this, even though it's an aspect of you, it's usually not conscious, and it usually manifests itself as well as an external person or some external circumstances. But in any case, it's always inside of you. So it may just be something internal, something with you and you, One aspect of the wounded aspect of you, the wounded child that you see yourself as in this particular situation, and the adult within you, So you can be doing part work. It means when the two or several aspects of yourself talk to each other, you know. It can be basically the shadow work. It's one aspect of the part work, but you can. So okay, so I think I'm starting to lose you. What I'm saying is that at first, you know, you may have those two aspects of yourself who are in kind of good relationship, you know, and very often those interactions, they are not conscious. It happens unless you just look for it, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna see what's going on. And if you want to witness this type of interaction, discussion between several parts of yourself, you can. If you start to want to witness it, you will witness it. You will then hear one voice and another voice. They don't say the same thing. One voice is for, the other one is against, and they all talk in your mind. You know what I mean? You know that probably. Yeah, everyone has many aspects of themselves that discuss with each other. So at first, those aspects of yourself, they may be congenial and friendly, and you, because this is a project that you want to build, you know, and one aspect of you may doubt, and the other one may be strong, but you don't realize that you have one aspect of yourself that is strong, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now you get everything I have said. Now I think it's very complete. You understand what it's about. All right, now the advice, so that's the last part, is ask for help. Ask for help, Aries, to maybe this person, if it's a person, or to this aspect of yourself. Ask them to give you the strength. Ask them to come forth, to come forward or come forth in your personality. Ask this archetype to come to help you. Or ask someone who has these capacities, you know, someone, even if it's not the actual person you are interacting with, maybe someone else, or, you know, anyone, or even on YouTube, if you find someone who has that showing up like that, you can listen to their content or read books about self-discipline, you know. Your guides, your teachers, your therapists, your helpers are not necessarily physical people you interact physically in the physical world. It can be, you don't have to know them. They don't have to know you. You can just read their book or watch their YouTube channel, or go on Instagram and see what, you know, consume their content and learn from them. This help can come like that. You can ask your inner guidance as well to guide you toward this type of content. And maybe the video I'm doing right now is doing that for you. All right, sharing another Aries who may benefit this reading. Like, subscribe, always feels good to me, and I'll see you very soon or right now in another of my videos. Check your sun, moon, and rising sign. The three are very important. And I wish you a very beautiful day. And remember, you are your own authority. Bye, Aries.